Hi everybody. So today we're going to be doing a review of the Magic the Gathering collab. I've had some people argue with me about how uh, this collab is worth rolling in comment sections in various locations, and um, but I've been talking to other people on the Pad Discord and the Puzzle Dragon X Discord and all that. This is on the Pad product website. So I'll put the link to this in the description if you want to follow along with me, or you just want to read the article and not worry about my video. That's fine too. I understand. Um, so we'll go to the top real quick. So these are all the monsters in this collab, and I feel it's important that we go over this lineup because, God, it's so bad. Just it's so bad. I don't. I thought Gung Ho was trying to do a power creep after Yu Yu Hakusho, and then we get something like this, and it makes you wonder. Um, so all the 5 stars are like, except for like I think 2 of them, except for Gideon and Nissa, or would be at least in my opinion, all of them are pretty either super average or like below average, and the 6 stars, with the exception of arguably Jorah and maybe Vraska, are pretty average as far as 6 stars go. And that's probably not a good thing in a collab where you only have a 10% chance of rolling diamonds. I think just give me one moment. And I could be wrong about this, but I think that's the same percentage chance as Full Metal Alchemist, and also 2.5% lower than Yu Yu Hakusho, which, God, if my luck shows me anything, means that I should never roll. So we'll go down here to, these are also the collab dungeon drops. These 3, this card is okay. I mean, they're all good. I mean, why not farm one when you get the chance, right? And then this is an assist evo, and it's all right. Not really crazy good, but here's the trade-ins. This is for Karn. I would say no matter what, don't trade for this. Nico Bolas. Um, this is the trade-ins. Um, I don't really think you need it, but if you super duper need his assist evo, you could maybe trade. Oh, I forgot to mention, uh, all of these 6 stars have assist evolutions, which are arguably better than their base form in most cases. Just one second. Oh, sorry, I'm sick and need water. Jorah would arguably be the only card worth trading for in this entire collab, I think. But leave that up to you. Vraska, this is your trade-in options. Again, it's going to be a yikes from me on the trade-in. While this is one of the better cards in the collab, I would not say that any of these cards are worth trading for it. So maybe if you got lots of Fenrir Vizzes and Metatrons and you got way too many Collies laying around, go for it. But in that case, I'd still honestly almost rather have them. So we'll start off with Nissa Ravane as the first 5-star. And something that I'm going to mention before we even start talking about these cards is the overall weighted stats of these cards is, to say the least, it's very below average. These cards don't don't stack up to most of the recent collabs, and unlike past collabs like Yu Yu Hakusho or Full Metal Alchemist or King of Fighters, there's really no chase card in this collab. Maybe Jorah is your best option, but personally, I think that even then, she's just in a much more inferior version of Diablos. But if you didn't get Diablos, maybe you want Jorah, so who knows? So start with Nissa. So her awoken skills are incredibly good, actually. She's fully unbindable. She has 3 bind recoveries, which is fantastic. So you get 3 turns of bind recovery for a single row of hearts. A skill bind resist, and 3 auto recovers, which is great. Her active skill is pretty good. It's a 4x attack for wood attribute for 1 turn. So that's acceptable, I suppose. And I would argue that this is one of the two, maybe three good 5 stars in this whole collab. Because 4x attack for wood attributes for 1 turn is great, and it's on a very, not very low, but like decently low cooldown. And 4x attack is a nice multiplier to add, and it gives you a lot of burst damage to let you punch through big health totals or big armor totals. So that's always nice. The leader skills for most, I haven't really looked at them all in depth yet, but I would say that the leader skills for most, if not all, of the 5 stars are pretty bad. So yeah, it's a 25x multiplier at the 50% damage reduction if you cross hearts and match 2 or more hearts. So I don't know, it's fine, I guess. So next we have Chandra Noir, and she's got 2 skill boosts, a 7 combo, and 2 LM locks. The LM locks are good, I guess, situationally good, and having a 7C is good, but it's bindable. The leader skill is fine. I think this is the only leader skill that changes two columns to red. Excuse me. Her multiplier is force attack when attacking with 2 or more combos of fire orbs, 2x attack when matching 5+. So, that's what? 4 times 4, 12 times 4, sorry, 4 times 4 is 16 times 4, what is that, 144? 122? Something like that. I don't know. Whatever. It's a big multiplier, but it's bindable, so it's not really worth doing. It could be a nice substitution if you have, like a red Odin team, maybe, and you want to just button farm things, but I think there's probably a better option for that because this needs multiple combos, so I don't know. Next we'll go on to Liliana Vess. They've got 4 Dark Orb row enhances, a team health plus, I don't remember what the exact amount it gives you, I think it's 10%, right? A skill boost and a skill bind resist. And those are pretty meh. Four dark rows is always fine, but meh. Deal dark damage 50x of team's dark attack value to all enemies. Change top row to dark orbs. Lock dark orbs. This is good if you're trying to cheese the spinners or something, and you want the darks. I do believe that the 50x is affected by enemies' defense, so yeah, probably not the best. Also, it's kind of a high cooldown for such a low impact ability. Attack and recovery for dark attribute, 3x attack when matching 6+ connected dark orbs. So that gives you a total of 9 times 4, which is, what's 9 times 4? 9, 18, 37, I think. Should have done this beforehand. 27, 30, 36. So it's 36. And that's the multiplier. I think this would be a decent purple button farmer. Like if you wanted to use this as a lead. I mean, it is bindable, which kind of sucks, but you could always have. I don't know. I also don't know if there's any good like full like farmable black board changers or sorry purple board changers at this point. So I don't know. Could be good for button farming if you need something in its style. If not, then whatever. I mean, next we have Jace Balerion. 3 fingers, a skill boost, and a 7 combo, and delays enemies next turn by 1, and lethality poison all enemies. So this is kind of in the same vein as like Jormungand or Uller or something like that, except for it's like double blue instead of white or white red. I don't remember which aura is, but the lethally poison all enemies is always nice. Since if they don't have a shield, you can use this as a proxy for follow-up attack if you don't have a good option. Again, weighted stats in this card, pretty bad, but yeah, I mean, blue is a decent color to be right now, so that's always good. You get 1.5x HP and 4x attack for water attribute and increases orb movement by 2 seconds. Tilt recovery when matching 4 hard orbs. So the multiplier is bad, and you don't want to use this. It's also not. It's also bindable. So, yep. Next we have Gideon Jorah. So he is also unbindable. He's got a skill boost and then shield from 3 colors. I think the 3 basic colors, which is great. No 7 combo, no L's, no orb unlock, no anything like that. So maybe not best, but decent. We take it where we can get it. He also has no RCV multiplier, which is really strange because in MTG, like just lore speaking or like canonically speaking, he's like a paladin type warrior guy, and he's good. He heals people. That's his gimmick because he's like a white card. So I don't get why they're giving the white cards no RCV, and then they're giving the blue cards RCV, and they're giving the black cards especially RCV. That just doesn't make sense to me. But whatever. We'll just forget the canon. Active skill is slightly reduced damage for 3 turns, increased combo count by 1 for 3 turns. Now, we don't have the exacts on this. We don't know what slightly reduced damage for taken for 3 turns is until we actually get the card. But let's assume that it follows the trends of other cards and it's 30%. And then you get an increased combo count for 3 turns. This is really good. It's great on things like Yusuke, where you can boost your combo count when you get your boards, and if your boards are suboptimal, you can always use these. This is helpful for doing VDP with Yusuke, like the 3x3. So it's good. It's on kind of a high cooldown, like a higher cooldown than you would want, but if this is your only option for skill boost or for combo count, then I mean there are worse options. So. 5x attack when HP is above 50%, 8x attack when HP is below 20%, may survive a single hit that would normally kill you with 1 HP. I think that's a Orochi that does something like this. So it's an 8x multiplier with 2 of them at basically at 1% HP. You'll have an 8 times 8 multiplier, which is what? I'm not even sure. It's like 64 or something, I think 64, which is fine, but I mean there are much better options. So next up you got Sara Angel. Again, 2 white cards, but one of them's got good RCV and one doesn't. Does not make sense, but whatever. So this one has a skill boost, a skill bind resist, and 3 TPAs. So just on the general census or just the general thoughts on these, it's TPA is kind of a dead awakening at this point. They're always helpful to have. Like you never turn one down when you can get your hands on one. But personally, I just think they're not good enough. I would almost always would I rather have a 7C over 3 TPAs. I think that's always just a better option. So active skill unlocks all orbs and changes wood, jammer, and poison to light orbs, and it's on a low cooldown. So I think this is one of the other good 5 stars because just overall, changing wood, jammer, and poison to light, it not only does it unlock, but you get rid of like the orbs that don't let you deal damage, and it changes it to a color that a couple of the meta teams currently want to abuse, that being Ed, Yusuke, and yeah, it's only two that come to the top of my head, but still, those are like 2 of the best, so that's all that matters. Oh, and Yogg, especially Yogg, actually. So yeah, and it's on a 7-turn cooldown, which is extremely low. You can put like a skill boost on your team or something, or like a color, like if you match all the colors, you get a boost to your skill. I can't remember the exact name for that, but you could have one of those, and then you could have this back up in like 3 or 4 turns, and that would be incredibly good. So its leader skill is 2x HP and RCV for light attributes and 3 stack. Okay, so this is terrible. All right, Shivan Dragon. We got 2 skill boosts, a machine killer, and 2 devil killers. And that's fine. And it's a dragon type, so you could put 3 dragon killers on it, and then you got like 6 killers total, 3 different types of killers. I mean, hey, you get big multipliers in certain things. Reduces enemies' defense to 0 for 1 turn, and 3x attack for dragon type for 1 turn. I don't know what's currently in the top like 5 leaders that's dragon typed. I guess Riku, the Sonyas, I suppose. So I mean, it's fine for those, but there are better options overall. If you need the enemy or the defense break, then that's fine. You can use it for that. But let's see, 2x HP and attack for dragon type, 2.5x attack for matching 5 plus connected orbs. So that's what 4 times 2.5 times 2.5. 5, was it 6? So 4 times 6, 24, I think. Yeah, 24x when matching 5 plus orbs and having dragon types. That's kind of shit. I'm not gonna lie. But whatever. Again, its weighted stats are pretty bad. It has some of the higher ones, like speaking in terms of attack, but I think every other stat is pretty suboptimal. It's even for attack, it's suboptimal. Okay, so now we're on to 6 stars, and we're gonna start off with I think one of the 2 that are actually good in this collab. Again, good does not mean that this card is worth trading for. However, I think there are worse cards you could be trading for. So this, if you need like a follow-up attack on this color and you don't have one, then I suppose this is not the worst thing you could be trading for, just overall, because it's got a lot of good awakenings. It's just a good card overall. So you get it's completely unbindable, 2 skill boosts, which is always great, 2 skill bind resist, which is always great, follow-up attack, which is incredible, and 2 7 combos, which is also great. So this card is, I think, pretty much akin to something like Green Nay, or not Nay, Green Cotton. I think Green Cotton is maybe mildly better, but this is also has a good ability too. So it gives you 2x RCV for 3 turns and unlocks all the orbs and changes them to Wood, Dark, and Heart. So we'll get to her leader skill in a second, but just off the bat, she works really well with herself, especially well with herself, and she also works well for Green Sonya, which is another plus because that card is good, and I'd like to see it more. So leader skill, 2x HP and 4x attack for wood attributes, and increases orb movement time by 2 seconds, and 3x when matching wood and dark orbs. So it is a 9 times 12 multiplier, I do believe, and if I'm not wrong, 4, 8, 12, 16, no, 16 times 9, so whatever. It's a decently big multiplier when you match wood and dark, so that's great, and it increases your move time by 2 seconds, which is also great, and it works well with its own active skill. It doesn't have an RCV multiplier, but because of the active skill, it gives it one. So you get a 4 times HP multiplier, a big ol' attack multiplier that I'm too tired and don't want to open a calculator to count. Actually, here, fine, I'll do it. We'll see. See what it is. It is, let's see, so it's 4 times 4, which is 16 times 3, or whoops, so 16 times 3 times 3 is 9, so 16 times 9, so 144, I was right. So it's a 144x multiplier, and that's a big enough multiplier to clear most, if not all, content in the game. It's got good colors, good, it's unbindable, good combo, 2 7Cs, a Fua. It's got all the things you could want from a card, except for a base RCV multiplier, which is truly unfortunate, but it happens. The other problem with this card is you're pretty much bound to only using cards that are green, so that's always a problem. But I mean, as it's been proven by Yusuke and such, bicolor teams don't really mean anything, so you can do that pretty easily. Next, we have her Assist Evo, which is, I think, one of the worst ones. Her active skill on it is great, because they maintain the active skill from the previous form. You get a skill boost, a blind resist, and a attack plus, which is pretty meh. So I would recommend for this one, if you get one, always keep it in the base form. Next up, we have Jorah, who is probably the best card in this collab, I would say, between her and Vraska, depending on your needs. So before we start, this card is basically arguably on the same or slightly below, or actually probably quite a bit below, the power level of Diablos. It does pretty much the same thing. Active skill not withheld. So it's unbindable, same with Diablos. It's got 3 skill boosts, skill bind resist, 2 fingers, which are all great. And then in the case of comparing this to Diablos, this gets a 10C, and Diablos has a guard break. So it depends which of the two you need. This one is going to hit much higher numbers, and Diablos is going to punch through armor. So, I mean, take your pick on which one you need. Also, overall, I would say the colors of this card are pretty bad. But the Awakenings overall are great, so whatever. The active skill, it is recovers 50% of total HP and remove all binds and awoken binds, one turn haste for team. So it's basically just a better version of Odin Dragon active, and that is pretty incredible. So 9-turn cooldowns, pretty decent, recovers HP, all that stuff. So I would say it's a much better Awakening to have than a leader skill or active skill, sorry, to have than Diablos. I think this, while the article does say yet another 10 combo awakening, I think this is actually the first 10C that we have on North America. Unless somehow before about 6 hours from now they drop like the new evolutions that they got in Japan a couple weeks ago on us. I don't think that this is going to change. Board becomes 7x6 in size, so same as Diablos. 3x attack when attacking with fire and water. 3x attack and reduce damage when you hit 8 combos or more. So you get damage reduction, which is good. So you trade for Diablos. I do believe he doesn't have this color requirement, but his multiplier is also lower. I don't remember exactly what his multiplier is, but it's lower than what 2 Jorahs would hit at the same time, or like a Jorah and Anubis, same shit. Or just Jorah and another combo lead that just has a higher multiplier in general. It's lower than what her multiplier is, but you trade that for needing to combo water and fire in every single combo that you do, pretty much. So take your pick there. Also, like I said earlier, weighted stats of this card are so much worse than Diablos. So, but you can't really compare. While this collab has a lot of cards that are just worse versions of things from Monster Hunter, you can't really compare them because Monster Hunter is a 10-stone machine where this is a 5-stone machine. So, I don't know. Her assist Evo, again, she maintains the skill. She's got full cloud. I do believe that's the super cloud resist. So I don't remember if that's 100% or 40%. It's one or the other. A finger and HP plus. Her assist Evo would be great because it's basically like the ability to assist an Odin Dragon active with awoken skills. So I mean, why wouldn't you want that? However, the reason you wouldn't want that is because you'd rather have the base form Jorah, and it's just better to have this card than this card, like to have the base than the Evo. So I'm not sure if you guys can see my mouse. I apologize if you can't. I think you would even want to maybe keep 2 Jorahs in the base form, but I think at maybe more than 2, you want to consider turning one into the assist Evo. Next up, for a second, I'm gonna take some water here. Next up, we have Nico Bolas, God Pharaoh. So this card is really strange, by the way, because this is the only one of these 4 cards whose base evolution is not immune to bind, but whatever. So he's got a skill boost, a skill bind resist, 2 fingers, and 5 TPAs. Again, how I wish these 5 TPAs had just been 7 combos. That would have been great. Active skill, avoid all damage taken for 1 turn, and a 2-turn haste for your team. I don't believe that includes itself, but it could. not entirely sure how it works. The damage void is always good. However, I think that it's on a cooldown that's much too long to ever be viable, and its awakenings are pretty bad. Its leader skill is very glass cannony. It's got a decently high attack stat and a decently high HP stat, but its leader skill is very glass cannon. It's no skyfall, 2.5x attack, and reduced damage taken when matching 5+ or 5+ combos. Increases attack based on the amount of orbs left over on board, 8 or less orbs, up to 12x attack. So the less orbs that you have, people are reading this as when you have 8 orbs, you get 12x attack. That is not how it works. It's 8 or less, so it's more than most likely that the multiplier is going to start somewhere around 6x, not 12x. However, if it does start at like 10 or 11x, then whatever, this card will be fantastic, damage-wise. But if not, you're basically going to have to amen your board and have like 2 orbs left in order to actually hit this multiplier. And in that case, it's not as good. However, if you do, the multiplier on this card is fucking nuts. It's 2.5 times 2.5 times 12 times 12, which is let me do this math here. 12 times 12 is 144, and 2.5 times 2.5 is 6.25. So let me see here. So then you got 144 times 6.25, and you get a 900x multiplier with 2 of this card. Now, the problem here is this card is not bindable. You will have no HP multiplier. You'll get a shield. We don't know how much for, but probably not that much, like 20-25% usually. And yeah, you're gonna hit like a truck, but you're gonna get hit back just as hard. So could be an overall problem for this team, I think. But for most, I think for any dungeon where there's no risk of you getting leader bound or any super high damage monsters, you're pretty good to just run this through and take out everything. Because even if this multiplier is not 12x, and you're not clearing, like you have 8 orbs exactly, and it's like a 6x multiplier, a 6 times 6 times 6.25 multiplier is still what? 6 times 6 times 6.25 is 200, still a 225 multiplier, even without having like 2 orbs left on your board, which is pretty good. However, again, bindable, squishy, which is the problem, and the active skill is pretty bad. You're probably going to want to either inherit something over this or just bring skill boosts so you can use this as soon as possible if you need it. The premium card, so this is the one that confused the shit out of me. So this card is bindable, but for whatever reason, the Assist Evo has the super bind resist, so it makes whatever card this is attached to completely unbindable. It also gives you 2 dark enhances and an attack enhance, which is great, but you're going to be using this for the attack, or for the unbindable, which is incredibly good, but I don't think you want to turn this card into the Assist Evo if you get just 1. I think maybe with 2, you'd want to start considering it, but with just 1, I think you just keep this as the base multiplier, or as the base. If you get couple, turn into this, because yeah, if you're wailing that hard, you can get whatever you want, and you can have this unbindable. So incredible. Ironically, I think the best assist for itself is itself, which is crazy. So next, and I think this is the last for the machine before we go into the farmable monsters. You get Karnes Ion of Orsa. So he has got great awakenings, but everything else about him is questionable at best. So he's got 2 bind resist, so he's fully unbindable. He's got 2 skill boosts, a finger, skill bind resist, and 3 7 combos. So he's following in something like Uranus's awakenings, which is great. However, Uranus is from the base machine, not from a collab. Yikes. And his leader skill, or his active skill, is recover all HP and changes all orbs to light, heart, and jammer orbs. So again, this is another card from this collab that strongly benefits Yogg. and that's great for Yogg. It's also a heal, which is great. Um, so yeah, it works for Yogg in like every way. Weight and stat wise, this card is trash, but it's got a big HP stat, and I think Yogg kind of cares about that, so that's fine. Leader skill wise, it's 3x attack and slightly reduced damage taken when matching 4+ connected jammer orbs, 4x attack and slightly reduced damage taken when matching 2+ combos or jammer orbs. So 2+ combos, and you connect 4 or more, so you're getting what, 9 times 4, 8, 12, 16? 9 times 16, is that what it is? Like, again, I could be wrong about some of these multipliers, but so it's 144. But it's a jammer leader. So I mean, if you got a team full of like this guy and Fenrir Vizes and like all that, if you're really whaling this guy, then hey man, you make it happen, Chief. You play this team to your heart's content, and you do good with it. But I mean, I know Dizzy's probably gonna whale for this card, so whatever. Maybe he'll get some use out of it. So for the assist for this card, you get 2 light rose, 3 poison resists, and a heart boost or an HP boost for your team. So the HP boost is decent because he does have really high HP to begin with, so more HP on top of that is good. 3 poison resists. It's something in the vein of Rathian, which I think is like the best assist evo right now for Monster Hunter. Stat wise, it's worse, and I think his other awakenings are better, but yeah. So this assist evo was great, and the main problem that I have with this collab is a lot of the assist evos are better than the base monsters in some cases, but the problem is you're not gonna roll in a collab unless you're whaling. You're never gonna get enough 6 stars to be able to turn an extra one into an assist, which is my main problem, and it's the thing that people want to argue with me over. And if you have the money or the stones in general to be able to roll this machine enough that you get a whole bunch of like these 6 stars, and you could turn extra ones into assists, that's great for you, and then you can you can use that to get all these, and you'll be set for the rest of your life. But if you're not paying money for this game, then these really aren't viable options for you. So this is the problem. So the dungeon drops, we got Demon Lord Belzenlock. So he has skill boost, a finger, 2 skillbind resists, 2 jammer resists, a team HP boost, and an Evo material killer and a machine killer. So that's interesting. Increases his active skill, increases the drop rate of poison orbs for 1 turn, and randomly spawns 3 dark and poison orbs. So interesting. His leader skill is 2.5x attack for devil type, 4x attack when matching 6+ combos, and it halves attack and damage received when matching poison or mortal poison orbs. So it's pretty average overall. Its multiplier is what? 6.25 times 12. So I don't know. We'll just say it's like 75x. It's not. It's like somewhere in like 73, 74 range. But we'll just like say it's 75x. So 75x multiplier when you match 6+ combos and all your team is devil type. And then it halves attack and damage. See, this is the problem. If it was just halves damage received when matching poison or mortal poison orbs, that would be great. This card would be fantastic. However, it halves your attack too, and that makes this pretty atrocious. So, yeah, it's kind of a problem. Yeah. Next, we got the assist evo. So we got Navigators Compass, which I do. Yeah, so this is the base form, and then it has an evo evolution. So this is active skill on a 15-turn cooldown. It randomly gives your team haste from 1 to 3, 1 to 3 turns. So what this basically means is when you need 2 or 3 turns, you're gonna get 1. When you need 1 turn, you're gonna get 3. That's pretty much what this means. So it's leader skill. It can't be used as a sub, and it cannot have latent awakening. So this is only yeah, it's an assist only. But yeah, this one is same cooldown, but this is the assist evo. and it gives you a boost to every color, as where this one, yeah, it doesn't matter. This is a boost to every color. Gives your it's same active skill, and it can't be used as a sub, only as an equip, obviously. So it's fine, I guess. The active skill is pretty bad, and you're never gonna really use it for this, like for the rainbow. So yeah, I mean, obviously farm one if you can. There was also another monster up here that let's see, let me find it here. There was one other one. Land War Elves is what it was. We don't really know what that does or what Jorah's Familiar does, but we're just gonna assume they're pretty bad. Maybe Jorah's Familiar is an assist that's only specific for Jorah because she uses her Familiar, obviously. That, or it's probably just a skill boost for her, one or the other, who knows. So next we have the Emo Materials. These all use standard Emo Materials. None of them need like any of the special stones from that JP have right now or anything like that. So yeah, these are all standard. And yeah, so what are the reactions for Rip? Yeah, Rip My Wallet's a pretty accurate one. So anyways, yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this, and let me know if you want more. Have a good one.